Welcome back to Doing Time with Dan. I'm your host, author Dan Putkowski, and we're in for another book review today. It's going to be a cop story called Hollywood Station, written by Joseph Wambaugh. As you can see, I bought it here on my Kindle, and I'm glad that I did because I enjoyed this book, and there's many more in the series to come. Wambaugh's pretty famous. He's written quite a few bestsellers, as well as numerous TV shows and movies. So what's this book all about? Well, it's a story as much about a place, Hollywood, California, as it is the characters inside. Ostensibly, it's sort of a drug-dealing, armed robbery type of story, but that's not really relevant to the point other than that it gives it structure. It's really about these characters, the cops and the criminals, and how they interact on the streets of modern-day Los Angeles. You see, the cops range from veterans with nearly 40 years on the force to a new recruit who dropped out of USC for the thrill of being a police officer in Los Angeles, which sounds absolutely kooky to me, but this character is very well drawn and believable. And then, of course, there are the meth addicts. And they kind of, as I said, string the whole thing together. There's Farley, who is desperate to score meth, and his girlfriend Olive, who just seems hapless and goofy. But she really turns out to be a very interesting character, and I must say at the end there is a little bit of redemption from her. And then there are these heartbreaking moments in this story. You see, Wambaugh tells it in a very conversational tone. It's not a technical story, not something like Sherlock Holmes or CSI. It's really about the people inside. And those police officers are going through a lot. There's a new mom who just had a baby, of course, and she has to pull over to a place to use her breast milk pump, and the old-timers don't like it, but eventually they come to get along. There's that new recruit who sometimes trucks with a veteran officer or a fellow who's a hypochondriac. And then there's two surfer cops, and they're nicknamed Flotsam and Jetsam. They provide some very good comic relief. At the same time, they got some tough duty, especially when they step into a murder-suicide. Each one of these little vignettes is a story in and of itself, and I think that's Wambaugh's strong point. He knows where to break up the action and keep you taking those small bites and moving along really fast, and you never know how full of the story you're getting until the very, very end. And the end is not pretty as much as it is realistic, and it might be hard to take for some readers. I only wish that he would have cut it off just a little bit sooner. So let's get on to that plot again. Well, Farley and Olive are trying to score meth. They steal from the mail. A bum sees them. He passes the information along to his cops, who initially ignore it, but then they pursue it, and they find out that this mail stealing operation led to a diamond robbery, which leads to a club stabbing, which leads to all different kinds of things. And like I said, these small bites just keep you on a treadmill going faster and faster and faster until you're almost out of breath as you read this story. And as I said, that's Wambaugh's strong point. He knows where to break up the action and keep it going. The only place where he gets a little too long is at the very end. There are some scenes in there that I think could have been cut out. It did get just a little bit too long. In fact, there's one scene that's just a little bit too sappy for me. But if you like cops, you're going to really enjoy this story, because Wambaugh goes inside their lives and gives you what it's really like. Despite the federal oversight, which is there because of past transgressions by the Los Angeles Police Department, these cops are really trying to do the right thing. And even when they do the wrong thing, their heart is in the right place. So here at Doing Time with Dan, we give Joseph Wambaugh's Hollywood Station 5 stars. Stay tuned for more book reviews here, as well as exciting videos of me flying small airplanes and information about my favorite island of Aruba.